Good morning, Zeezu. Morning, Nana. Do you want to play our sight words game? No, I don't want to play sight words today. Oh, what's the matter? I'm a bit tired. Oh, well, we had a busy day with family yesterday, so maybe, I just try to go with what Zeezu feels like doing. And if Zeezu doesn't want to do a word game, we're not going to do a word game. But would you like me to read you a story? Oh, yeah, a story would be great. Okay, well, I'll just read a story. Which one do you want? Magination Molly. Okay, all right, so I'll read Magination Molly to Zeezu. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we are, Magination Molly and the Chameleon Thief. Oh yeah, I love that story. Yeah, this is a story by me, story and pictures by me, Catherine Maven. Okay. Molly is a little girl with green eyes, curly hair the color of cinnamon, and too much imagination. I have lots of imagination too, don't I, Nana? Yes, Zeezu, you do. But Molly is always seeing things that aren't there. At least that's what everyone around Molly seems to think. 11 times a day she hears someone say, "That's just your imagination, Molly." You don't say that to me, Nana. No, I don't, because I think imagination is fantastic. Now, Molly's mom can see a horse in a cloud, and her dad makes cool rabbit shapes, such as ducks, dogs, and bunnies, on Molly's wall when he comes to read to her at bedtime. But when Molly sees parrots in the wallpaper in the bathroom, Molly's parrots say, "That's just your imagination, Molly. Those are flowers." I see parrots. They're parrots right there. No, those are what Molly sees. This is the actual wallpaper. Oh, well, it looks like birds too. Yes, that's right. Molly smiles because she can sort of see the flowers too, but secretly she laughs at the silly antics of the parrots every time she goes in there. Molly's hairdresser, Magda, uses a hummingbird to cut her hair, which is great because otherwise Molly really doesn't like getting her hair cut. A hummingbird? Yes, is that a hummingbird? Yes, that's a hummingbird. Hummingbird. Okay, hummingbird. The next time she sees Magda, Molly asks how she taught a hummingbird to cut hair. Magda says, "That's just your imagination, Molly. These are my green and pink scissors." Seeing the scared look on Molly's face, though, Magda adds, "But you're right. The scissors really do fly around your head like a hummingbird." And then she hums a song she calls "The Flight of the Hummingbird." Can you hum that song? No, I can't. Sorry. I'll get Papa to do it later. Another day, Molly says, "Look at that funny red dog sitting beside the road." But her mom replies, "That's just your imagination, Molly. That's a fire hydrant." Can you see why she thought it was a red dog? Red dog. Fire hydrant. Right, good job. Once she's closer, Molly agrees that the dog is made of bright red metal, and she's fascinated to learn from her mom how firefighters use the water locked inside the metal dog to put out fires. Another time, Molly gets really scared because the doctor has a snake around her neck. Can you see the snake? Yeah, that's a snake. Right, is it really a snake? I don't know. Well, Dr. Hidayah tells her, that's just your imagination, Molly. This is my stethoscope. I will use it to listen to your heart. Here, listen to mine. Of course, when the doctor takes the snake off and gives it to Molly, it turns into a scope, and Molly enjoys hearing the doctor's heart go thumpity thump. But she keeps a close eye on it just the same. Because Molly has heard so many people say it to her so often, on the first day of kindergarten, when the teacher asks her name, she says, Magination Molly. Everyone laughs, and somehow the name sticks. Molly draws the dancing parrots and hummingbird for Miss Hunter. Her teacher smiles and says, You are very creative, Magination Molly. But when Molly whispers to her that there is a Chinese dragon in the cloakroom, Miss Hunter takes her there by the hand. Do you see the Chinese dragon? Yeah, Chinese dragon. Good job. And Miss Hunter says, that's just your imagination, Molly. Those are coats, hats, and scarves of the other children. Then Miss Hunter hesitates. Those bright colors do look a little bit like a Chinese dragon, though. Why don't you draw it during art? Molly blows the Chinese dragon a kiss, and it winks at her. It will be their secret. One day, Molly's parents are talking about the news. The chameleon thief struck again last night, Daddy says. What's a chameleon, Daddy? Molly asks. A chameleon is a kind of lizard that can change its color as a way of hiding, explains Molly's dad. But this chameleon is a thief who hides inside local stores until everyone goes home. Then he steals whatever he wants and is gone by the time the police arrive. That's awful, says Molly's mom. My sister's afraid that her jewelry store will be next. Molly knows that Aunt Odette has a store downtown called Putting on the Glitz. Molly loves the store, even though she's not allowed to touch anything in the cases. Of course, Aunt Odette keeps a treasure box full of beautiful buttons, brooches, and beads for Molly to play with whenever she comes to visit. Oh, we have a treasure box too, don't we, Nana? Yeah, we'll play with that another day. Still, there is a jeweled frog in one of the cases that smiles at Molly, and she wishes she could have him. I want him too, Nana. No, we don't have him, though. Just in a picture. Okay. Maybe Magination Molly and I should have lunch with Odette today, says Molly's dad, whose turn it is to stay with Molly while her mom goes to work. Yes, 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 says Molly, and her mom smiles. That would be nice, she agrees, but you two had better have dinner with Odette tonight rather than lunch. I have to work late. Works for me, says Molly's dad. Dinner it is, okay, Pumpkin? Molly nods happily. Can you do my hair? And then can we have dinner at the umbrella car man's? She asks. When her mom looks puzzled, Molly's dad explains. That's the hot dog stand with an umbrella near Odette's store. Ah, says Mom. Okay, I see. I'll do your hair before I go to work, okay, Molly? Molly nods happily. Her mom does amazing braids. When they get off the bus downtown, Molly gasps in amazement. Only a short distance away is a policewoman on a flying horse. Can you see the horse's wings, Zeezu? Yeah, there's one wing and there's the other wing. Wow. That's right. She struggles to remember the name of the horse from her favorite book of myths, which her dad has read to her dozens of times. Look, Daddy, a stegosaurus, she says, pulling on his sleeve. A what? he says, crouching down beside her and following her pointing arm with his eyes. That police has a flying horse, she says, a stegosaurus, you know. Oh, you mean that police officer is riding a Pegasus, corrects her dad. But that's not a Pegasus, Molly. That's just your imagination. That's the steam coming up through the vent in the sidewalk that's making it look like the horse has wings. A moment later, the police officer and the horse move away from the vent, and Molly can see that the horse's wings are gone. Can you see that, Zeezu? Yeah, there's the steam. Good job. She's sad because what she really wanted to see was the horse take off into the sky and fly away over the treetops. She keeps watching, hoping the horse's wings will come back, but they don't. And then the police officer turns a corner and is gone. Her daddy tugs her hand, and soon they arrive at her aunt's store. By the time Molly is done playing with the treasure box, it is beginning to get dark, and she sees Aunt Odette turn the sign and lock the door. While her aunt is busy doing something on her tablet, Molly wanders between the cases. She smiles at Froggy, who smiles back. Do you see Froggy in the picture? Yes, I see him. He's right there. Good job. As she walks, and she has a hoodie that has a unicorn on it. That's right, that's a unicorn. As she walks by the back room she calls the clock room, though, Molly suddenly sees something out of the corner of her eye. She goes to her dad and grabs his baby finger and drags him toward the back of the store. This is their signal in public places that she needs to use the bathroom, so he follows along. You do that with me. Nana, you do that with me. I hold your baby finger too. Yeah, it's our signal too, Zeezu, you're right. When they get to the bathroom, however, Molly sits on the toilet lid and then crooks her finger so her dad will sit down and listen to her. It's the bad Chameleon man, she whispers. He's in the clock room. Molly, says her dad in that warning tone of voice. No, she whispers, it's not my imagination. It really is the chameleon. Go see. He shakes his head and smiles, but they tiptoe out to peek from the doorway into the clock room. Molly points to a shadowy spot beside the grandfather clock. Do you see anything in the picture? Look beside the grandfather clock. Oh, I see him. But Molly's dad crouches down beside her and says, I didn't see him, Molly. I think it must be just your... No, Dad, it really is the bad chameleon man. We've got to help Aunt Odette. Don't let him take Froggy. Tears are welling up in Molly's eyes. Really, Daddy? He looks at her for a long moment, then reaches into his pocket for his cell phone. I'm going to call the police, Molly, but we're all going to be very embarrassed if this is just more of your imagination. He holds his finger over the send button. Should I phone? Molly nods seriously, her hand on his arm. Quick, Daddy! Hello, police, he says quietly. We have reason to believe the Chameleon Thief is in a jewelry store called Putting on the Glitz on Rose Street. He listens for a moment, then covers the mouthpiece and asks Molly where she's seen him. He's in the shadow beside Grandpa's clock, she says. We think he's in the shadow beside a grandfather clock in the back room at the southwest corner of the store, Molly's dad says, then listens some more. Yes, we'll wait him back. Okay, we can do that. How long? When he puts the phone away, he looks at his small daughter very seriously. I have to go unlock the front door so the policeman can get in, but I want you to stay right here and be very quiet, okay? Molly nods silently. She hears her dad say loudly, I just want to step out for a bit of fresh air, okay, Odette? Molly hears Aunt Odette mumble a reply and hears the click as the front door is unlocked. Her daddy is outside for only a moment before he comes back in. Odette, could you come and help Molly in the bathroom? She says I can't go in. You know how it is with little kids. A moment later, Odette and Molly's dad step into the back where Molly has been waiting. What? Aunt Odette begins to ask, but he puts his finger to his lips and leans forward to whisper in her ear. Molly says the Chameleon Thief is in the store, so I've called the police. Aunt Odette looks sharply down at Molly, who nods. I saw him. I really did, she whispers to her aunt. I saw him too, Nana. That's right, Zeezu, you saw him too. The police told me we should wait here and back until they arrest him, Molly's dad whispers. Well, okay, says Aunt Odette doubtfully. But how are they supposed to get in? I left the front door unlocked when I came back to the store. Oops. Well, okay, says Aunt Odette doubtfully. But how are they supposed to get in? I left the front door unlocked when I came back into the store, admits Molly's dad. You what? Aunt Odette's voice has risen above a whisper, but then she remembers and lowers it again. Molly is surprised when her aunt pulls out her cell phone, taps an icon, and they can suddenly see two police officers burst in the door of the clock room, guns drawn. Come on out, Chameleon, the lead one says. You're trapped. For a moment, nothing happens, and both Molly's dad and her aunt turn to look at her with angry faces. But Molly just nods silently to the shadow beside the grandfather clock where she saw the man. As they watch, the Chameleon Thief leaps out of the shadows and tries to dodge past the police. He's very fast, but they've been expecting this and tackle him to the ground. A minute later, the man is kneeling on the floor in handcuffs, and the police call that it's safe to come out. Molly, her dad, and her aunt emerge from hiding. When a dark gray mask is removed from his head, they can see he is a small brown-haired man wearing strangely patterned gray clothing, which has helped him blend into the shadows beside the clock. I don't know how you saw me, he mutters. I was as good as invisible. I know I was. Not to someone with a most excellent imagination, says Molly's dad proudly. That's my Molly. Magination Molly. Once the bad man has been taken away, a grateful Aunt Odette gives Froggy to Molly as a reward for her keen eyesight. I promise never to call you Magination Molly again, she says to Molly. Molly doesn't want her aunt to keep her promise. She really likes being Magination Molly, especially when her daddy holds her in his arms. There, that's it. What did you think? I like that story, Nana. Can you read it to me again? Okay, well, I'm going to read the story to Zeezu again. Then maybe they can have a little nap. I hope you enjoyed.